So I've been a judge for about 7 years, and when I started judging, I thought one of the cool things to do was judge F&M. Seems like a good choice. I'd been maybe a judge for 6 months or so, and I got a call, and they called me over, like, hey guys, what's going on? They say, Judge, what game is it? What? Like, Judge, we have no idea what game we're on. What do you mean? Like, my mind went blank. I was blown away. I had absolutely no idea how to fix this. To make it worse, they had no idea if it was game 2 or game 3. One player insisted that he won game 2. The other one says, no, that never happened. That wasn't real. You're making this up. Also, they were a couple. They were in a relationship together. Which made it pretty awkward. It got pretty heated, and it was moving into domestic abuse situation. They were quite angry at each other, but I had no idea what to do. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is just a couple of things that happen fairly frequently, and just the basic fix. What do you do when this happens? So the first one I want to talk about is the most terrifying thing that you can hear as a judge. Like, Judge, our draft just blew up. So I need 9 volunteers. Judge, they need you over here. So I tell him briefly what happened. He's like, oh, okay, great, we'll fix this. He comes over and asks them, they walk through what's going on. And he's like, why don't you go ahead and take care of that. I'll be over there. I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, go get Jared Silva. Jared Silva came and saved the day. So here's what I want you guys to do. So you can go ahead and open your pack, toss out your land and your token card out with me. You don't really have to worry about drafting, but take four cards.
Take the 4 previous cards.
Just take 4 cards. You can keep the pack. I don't care.
Obviously, one of them
All
day, Johnny B.
So this is just showing that we're in the middle of this draft. You don't really have to think about this. So they're in the middle of the draft, and one card from this pack. Take all of these cards. Oh. Take all of these cards. One card from this pack somehow ends up here. Goes into your pack that you were drafted. So, just to make sure that so now we've got 4, everybody has taken 4 cards, and we've got 10 cards, and you're going to say, I want you to just go ahead and pick 1 extra card. You go ahead and pick 1 card. Daryl, you also pick a card, and you go ahead and pick a card. So some of you have drafted, and that's when we realize that this player realizes that 1 card is short, or his pack is short. And this is the situation that I'm called over to that blows my mind. Also, the head judge is like, I don't know, get there. So everybody understand the setup, what's going wrong here? Okay, can you run out and get our volunteer? Yeah, Victor.
You're so
You call Judge?
Yeah, you go ahead and call Judge. I'll explain everything to you.
Judge! I'm terrified by the amount of laughter.
Alright, come over here.
I'm coming.
Alright, what's the problem? What's going on?
We're in the middle of...
I don't have enough cards.
we're in the middle of our draft, and I realize this pack is one card short.
All right.
That's all weird.
Okay.
And that's it.
What,
Go.
What pick are you on? Pick
Oh, I just
6
finished my 5th pick.
from that pack.
Fifth pick.
Yes.
But I'm at
Why do you have
fourth
6
pick.
I'm on 5th pick.
One of these guys is taking one
You're a horrible person.
I just took my fourth pick. You just took your fifth pick?
I'm a fifth.
What the?
I got my fifth.
Four.
Keep up, Aerosmith.
No, I don't know because you only no. You got a fifth pick
One.
over there.
All right. Hold on. All right.
You volunteered.
I know. So 5, 5. How many do you have?
4.
I picked 4.
You have 4.
5. Fifth pick. 5.
4. Okay.
We were both we called you over.
All right. So you're on the same pack as him, but you haven't picked your card yet.
Yeah, sure.
Me,
Have you picked your card from this pack yet?
No, I don't think, I haven't.
Okay.
no, but I have.
What's it?
I just picked this.
Okay. I have no idea where to start.
Okay, so let's pause here. Who has a suggestion for a way to get started here?
Run out the door as fast as you
Running is a choice. Listen up.
Make sure everyone has their picks separated from their packs. And start, each person needs to start counting their picks and the number of cards left in their pack.
Okay. Pete?
Yeah, same thing. They should all count to make sure that picks plus packs equals, or picks plus the cards they have in hand.
For the investigation, if you don't know which way the pack's going, one of the first questions asked, where are we going?
Excellent thing to know. So what would you like to do first?
All right. Well, let's find out which way the packs were going. They're on pack 2.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever. All right. Which direction were you passing packs?
Left.
Right.
Left.
Now
you know why I screwed up.
Right? It's all your fault. You're DQ'd. Get out of my All right. So as someone over there suggested, how many cards does everyone have in the packs in their hand? In hand.
With picks 14.
No, just in hand. I have
Well, no, total. We'll go with total.
Total?
Because I did have 14.
14.
Oh, I thought you passed that. You guys are not.
I have 13.
So this is a very good point. That we're in the middle of picking. Some people have already passed. Some people haven't passed yet. Like nobody knows.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Well, everybody's at a different point.
Here.
So
Look at the cards. I have 8.
I have 14.
5.
so one of the things that you
I have 15.
I guess listen up.
All right.
So one of the things that you want to do at this point is get everybody to the exact same place. So it's a good point that making sure that everybody's got 14 is good. But Ben didn't know which pack is he counting. Is he counting the one that he is going to be grabbing, the one that he just passed? So what in the actual situation, the first thing that we did was everybody that hasn't passed or that hasn't drafted from this pack already, draft. And then set the pack down to your left. And that way everybody is doing the exact same thing in the exact same place. Then we can count and figure out if there's actually a problem. Because it's happened before that people just get really excited and they just confuse themselves because there's all these different numbers and they don't know. So if you get everybody at one baseline, then ask some questions. You're gonna have a lot more luck with that. So let's go ahead and do that.
But he has 5 picks.
I'm at 5.
Yeah.
5?
Yep.
I'm at 5.
All right.
So
So now each pile should have 9 cards, correct?
Should we pick up our pile?
Yeah. Let's count the piles. The pile that
Which
was
one?
Pile that was
passing.
Pile you were
How it's
passing.
picked from.
Okay.
Pile you were
Pile you
passing.
picked from?
Yes.
Oh, we just picked from.
Yes.
That should make it four.
They should all have 9. Yes.
I only have 8.
I have 9.
I have 9.
I have 9.
9.
10.
All right. So it would appear that you have a card that belongs in his pack. Fix that either. At least you found.
That's okay.
Found the problem. Pretty sure that's the problem because 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 10,
Well,
8.
Judge, if I didn't see that card in this pack, it might change my pick.
Okay, so let's pause again.
Wow.
And actually, I'm not sure how you ended up with the extra card. Ben was supposed to have the extra card. So they screwed up. At some point, they just traded
At
packs.
least it didn't make it back to me.
No, he picked back up his original pack.
Didn't I give the 10th card to you?
No, you gave them.
Did I? Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways, what made it really much weirder in the actual situation is that this extra card floated over several packs. So, anyways, okay, so now we know where we are and we know what the problem is. And so he's got 8 cards, he's got 10 cards, right? You got the 10
He's got the 10 cards.
We'll give it to Ben, just because.
Well, this would have changed my last 2
Make it
picks
worse.
now.
Yeah. Make this guy more pissed.
So he's got 8, he's got 10. All right, at this point, who's got a fix?
We randomly pull a card from the 10
The
pack.
abundant pack?
The abundant pack. The one that has too many. We put it back in the pack that has 8, bringing it up to 9.
We just do that at random?
Yes.
My question is for the setup. If it's supposed to be competitive, aren't they supposed to not be touching? Now I know you can go through and they can look, but aren't they supposed to keep the order? Isn't it supposed to be stacked in order?
They do not have to.
Okay, because I'm just watching people at the table just going through and.
But whenever there's a paused draft, people are going to fidget, and they are going to, and they did, which later on will that's another problem that occurred.
Oh Lord, there's more.
So, I understand, so if you now know that everyone has 5 picks from this pack, couldn't you just basically take those picks and redo that pack? That's not an option for us.
That is an option. That's something that you can look at. You know, if this happens at an F&M, maybe it's the first pack. You can talk to your TO. Like, you know, we have an issue. Maybe I can fix it. Maybe I can't. Just ask him. Is it an option to just redo this pack? Which is the first thing that we investigated. But since it was several picks into, I think, yeah, it was the second or third pack of triple Avison Restored, redoing the whole draft, that we decided that was not.
That one pack.
Well, if it had been, say, 3 separate sets, then yeah, it's like, okay, well, we'll just redo the Guild Pact.
Oh,
That's fine. But redoing 2 isn't an option, and you can't just say, well, let's just take the top 5 cards and redraft those. That sometimes people.
This wasn't like a call draft where they had to have them in the order of the options.
Correct.
They don't always do that. Some players keep sticking the bad ones on the bottom,
Yeah.
even when you tell them not to.
Yeah, when they do the review period, they're like, oh, yeah. okay.
Yeah. If it
Or
were
mid-packs.
Eric,
Just one point I wanted to make, having been through this kind of situation myself, be wary of the one player in the group who thinks he knows exactly what's happened and how he's going to fix it. Maybe he does know, but maybe he's about to give you something which is going to make things worse. And just get that player to calm down and say, look, I understand that you've seen this and you probably have the right idea, but just bear with me a couple of minutes, sir, while I get up to speed with this situation, and I'll walk you through to make sure it's absolutely correct. And don't let him badger you into letting him take control. I've had a couple of instances of that.
Judge, I already figured this out. He should get one of these 2 randomly.
All right. So I'll give you the solution that we came up with. He's got 10 cards. He's got 8 cards. We could investigate rarity. We could do a lot of things to get the best possible fix, but at this point, we just needed to move them along. So what we did is we took one card at random from the pack of 10 and gave it to the pack of 8. And then at that point, the player who just received a card, he had some complaints. He's like, well, you just made me draft, and now I get shorted the opportunity to draft this card. What if I randomly just got a really good spell? So the one thing that we decided that we should have done was when you had everybody just like, okay, everybody draft to make sure that we're in the same place. Don't add those to the stack. Set those picks down in front of you. That way, in Daryl's case, he has the option of, do I get this card that I just picked, or do I get this new card that was just added to my pack? So that's how we resolved it. Any quick questions or comments on the draft scenario, Nick?
I think the player who got skipped is likely to complain and say, well, but I didn't get to see that card, I might have wanted to pick it. And the response to that, because you're going to want to address that, is to say, well, you also didn't notice this problem. If you'd noticed this problem, if you called it out, then we could have got it fixed in time for you to get that option. But the fact that you failed to notice it is what denied you that opportunity. Because it's going to be a question that will be asked, and you have to give a satisfactory answer.
Yep. Basically, it's sorry.
So let's say this is the top 8 of a PTQ. How long should fixing this be allowed to take?
If it takes if you think it's going to take more than 5-7 minutes to ask your questions, just beg for new packs.
All right, so I'm calling for a judge. Hi. I believe my opponent has drawn negative cards.
Yeah.
How so?
Let me just share this with everybody. All right, guys. So the situation is we've got a legacy / vintagey. Oh, looks like we're
playing legacy.
We're playing legacy. We've got a legacy deck, and at some point, Chuck thinks that Kevin might have drawn an extra card.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that?
I saw it.
And we got a spectator that saw the whole thing. All right, Stefan, go.
Okay, first, where are your hands?
Neither of us have one. We're both
Neither of you have hands.
Yes.
Okay.
That I want to be in my hand, but it'll
Don't
get
think
there
that's gonna
eventually.
happen.
It'll happen. Next
Is
turn.
that on the stack?
No, it's under the typo
Okay.
spell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill it.
Yeah. Okay. This is exciting. Do we have any idea what turn it
It is turn 6. I just finished my turn
7?
6.
6 or 7?
Yeah. I missed one land run.
Do you remember who started?
He did. Yeah, I started first.
Okay.
And I mulligan to 6.
You mulligan to 6?
Yep.
Can you? Okay. Well, let me see. Let's count some cards because that's a good baseline.
So one of the first things that you should do when you get called, you go ahead and do your count. When you get called over and you hear, I think my opponent drew an extra card, pull out your notebook because you're going to be writing some things down.
Yeah.
He asked some very good questions right off the bat to just get those out of the way. Who went first? Has anybody mulliganed? Those are going to be very important later.
Did you search with both of these Stoneforge Mystics?
Yeah, one got Batterskull and one got Jete.
Okay. You can confirm that?
Yes.
Okay, so you currently have 15 cards on your board that you did not search for. And...
Well, he's correct, 2 Hedgehights.
Good call.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
so he has 13. Did you use Knight of the Reliquary at all?
He has not activated the ability. No, not yet.
Okay. So you have 13 cards that were in your starting hand and that you drew. You started with 7 cards?
I didn't mulligan.
Okay. So you started with 7 cards. So you have drawn 8. Or 6. 6. Notes are better.
There you go.
Alrighty. So we have... And what's your name?
I'm Chuck.
And you are?
Kevin.
Also a good plan, remembering who's who. You're going to have a lot of numbers thrown at you very quickly, and if you just start scribbling things down, you're like, wait, who is this? add in counting to the deck,
Here's where things are.
you can make a pretty strong assumption that they
I
are
fetched
playing
4
16
times,
card deck.
and I played Pigs with Looting 4 times.
Oh my.
Set the table.
Did you play any of those lootings out of the yard?
Sure you didn't play this one? I'm sure. I discarded that one too previously. Are you sure? Yes.
So as he's struggling with this, what he's doing is the basic thing that you want to do is you're figuring out how many cards has he pulled from his deck. So for Kevin, it was pretty simple. He's got the number of cards that he drew for the turn, or for the to start the game, which was 7, since he had not mulliganed. So he's got his 7 cards. He's got 1 per turn. He had pulled 2 extra cards out of his deck from fetching. Yep. He's got 2 fetch lands that had been activated, and 2 from Stoneforge Mystic. So when you had all that, he had
6 draws.
15. So if you just counted all of his cards that weren't from his library, from in play, from his card in his hand, if he'd had any, from his graveyard, he should have 17.
17 total, 13 that were not searched for.
Yep. So the 13 that hadn't been pulled from his library, which means it's turn 6, which is a very good thing to know.
Yep. And he said turn 6, and he said turn 7. So without the fetches, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So he had 20. And that gets rid of the fetch. Minus the 6 from his hand, so he has 14 that he was working with. And you looted
4 times. These 2 and then flash them back.
4 times, and this one was discarded to
This one
faceless looting.
was discarded to that faceless looting.
Now, if I was cheating, which I did, I would be interjecting here, just being like, "Are you sure you didn't cast this?"
Yeah.
To
That's
try and
something I'm
muddle
going
this
to
up.
Yeah, I can
try and
actually
figure out.
rewind what happened. Because last turn he killed both of these creatures, and I discarded this and this piece.
Spectator that watched this. Can you determine?
I wasn't watching the whole game. I just saw him take an extra card.
All right. So quick pause. How do you guys feel about asking a spectator for input?
I don't mind doing it, but just not so that.
Not like that, right?
Yeah.
Pull it aside.
Take it with a grain of salt because you
Yeah, that
don't
was the
know
plan.
if he's really good friends with him and they're scuzzy.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
I would absolutely ask him. I would absolutely ask
was
Greg,
going to be
but it's not really going to make a difference either way. It's just helping me clarify things.
Yep. Okay, so operating under the assumption that he did not cast that he had discarded it to this looting, we had 8 cards drawn off of looting, which would leave us with 6, and it was turn 6, which means you had 5 card draws, and you are 1 ahead.
All right. Very good. So we do have catching an extra card drawn. At this point, it's going to move into an investigation. Maybe it happened on purpose. Maybe it didn't. But that's a separate seminar.
Shuffling his deck. They both agreed that he mulliganed and he didn't.
Yep, they both agreed to that right off the bat, and that was a very good thing that I hadn't even thought to mention. Is if you get that resolved right away, they're gonna be much more likely. Oh yeah, he mulliganed. Well, if you
Wait till
get to the end
numbers, yeah.
and say, hey, did he mulligan any? Kevin's gonna say, oh well, I don't remember.
Where if I'm cheating in this spot, you did that immediately, I go, yeah. Now my only recourse to try and get the numbers to you screw up is to argue whether or not faceless looting was cast.
Oh no, you've got a much better.